All right, welcome back. We've got our resident squatting Slav over there. Now, what's the topic going to be about? Let me guess. Squatters. Wow, squatters in the U.S. Now, squatters has two meanings. One is, of course, someone who's physically squatting down. Where's the camera? But the other meaning is, of course, someone who you show up to your house thinking that it's empty. You're about to go hang out, watch some TV on the weekend. You open the door and boom, there's somebody living in your house. What's that all about? What are squatter laws? How come they even exist?
Sure. What you're talking about with squatter laws, and this is squatting in this sense is a lot more uncomfortable, I'll tell you that. But squatter laws, it's called adverse possession. And what it essentially means is if you stay in a home for a certain period of time, and there's actually legal definitions here, it has to be open, you know, you have to go into a place that is abandoned. You have to be notorious, meaning people have to know, they're taking note that you're going into a house and you're coming out of it. And you have to be exclusive. It can't be a group of people. It has to be, you. It just can't be some communal house that everyone's hanging out in. And then continuous. You have to be doing this for a long period of time, making improvements to the property. And after a certain period of time, depending on your jurisdiction, you actually have the right to claim adverse possession or ownership over that piece of property. This started actually, it goes back to I think the first record of it was in 12 something, they talked about this. It's kind of medieval. You would think about a big lord over the land, and you have these different peasants. And maybe one peasant didn't farm this certain piece of land, and another peasant went in that bordered his, and he started farming it and making improvements to it. And over a period of time,
people died of the plague, and
yeah,
all these
and then
empty houses.
you could claim. Imagine pulling up your deed in 1210. I mean, if you're farming the land, if you're making use of the land belongs to you.
Like eminent domain. Okay.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Okay, but hold on, that's a long time ago. So yeah. Okay, you fast forward now. What's the positive reason for these laws in the books?
If we fast forward now, I'd like to bring us to a migrant legal expert who's going to explain a lot about squatting. Can we go to that, please?
Mi gente, he pensado invadir una casa en United States, ya que me enteré que existe una ley que dice que si una casa no está habitada, podemos expropiarla. Capichi, muchachos?
So, did you get enough? Did you get what you wanted?
He might be a fine person, but I viscerally hate what he represents.
You think he's a fine person? He's actually been ordered to be deported. So he's out of here.
Maybe.
Adios.
Okay, well,
yeah.
Goodbye. no sad feelings.
So he's a Venezuelan migrant. He went viral because he was telling people from Latin America, hey, come in. If you find a property that's vacant, you can make improvements to it. We can invade, he says, and we'll take over all these places and we'll have a place of our own. And actually, going back to California, they actually have some of the most lenient squatting laws or adverse possession laws. And I think it's only 5 years. If you stay on a piece of property for 5 years, you're making improvements to it, you're notorious, it's continuous and exclusive. That's
Wait,
yours.
5 years? I thought
5
it was
years.
like months, though.
No, well, you're getting into something here. So in New York, it's 10 statewide if you're getting a house. But in New York City, this is where it gets crazy. If I was to go into an apartment for 30 days and you set up shop there and come in and out and act like it was mine, after that 30-day period, I have tenant rights. So I cannot be evicted. And these squatters who are like him,
rent? Tenants pay rent.
as long as you are paying taxes, they can't get rid of you. And if they want to get rid of you, Cindy, it'll take a couple years for them to go through the legal process. The same goes for the houses in other states. Like if you're in California, somebody shows up to your property that you're renting, maybe you have a bunch of them, you're using it as a retirement business. They come in, it's going to take a long months, even years to get these people out.
Hold on. I still don't understand, because in my naivete, I still think that every law in the book should be somewhat just. Like there must be a just argument for every law that exists. What is the just argument for this?
The just argument is going back to that medieval principle.
Forget the medieval principle.
I know, but that's one side. And there are a lot of people who agree with you, Roman, and they say that this is crazy, especially in New York City, where landlords are having these tenants pop up, and then if they choose to take off the power or the electricity, I found this on the New York City website, the landlord will be fined $250 to $500 a day that they've turned off services that those squatters are using. And after that, it goes up to $500 or $1,000 a day for those violations. So there's a lot of people upset with this. And there's a whole movement in this country against adverse possession, against squatting. And actually, Ron DeSantis last year in July put through some pretty groundbreaking legislation where they've gotten a lot more tough on squatting. I think we have a clip from Florida to see what happened after this law came into effect.
Let's see what the squatter hit.
Anybody else in there? Come on.
Step out. Hands in the air. Walk this way.
Is anybody else in there?
Step out. Step out. Come on. Everything will be explained later. Stop. Don't move, okay? What's going on? Who's got an extra set of cuffs?
So this law, which came into effect 2024, July 1st, they give you an immediate arrest if you're unlawfully occupying a vacant house or even a house with someone inside. It's a felony if you trespass and then you destroy property. And also there's a misdemeanor for falsifying a lease claim to occupancy. And if you list a house, because some people are listing other people's houses, that's a felony, first-degree felony.
Well, the biggest thing with this is people exploiting loopholes. A lot of these squatters are not there for 5 years or 10 years. It's somebody, for example, like someone leaves town for a week to go visit a family member, or you have an Airbnb and someone decides to rent out your Airbnb for a month and then declares that they own the place.
How about same day? There was a woman in Georgia just before Christmas named Laretha Hale, and she had a rental agreement with someone. They moved out. She went to go and paint the place and fix it up, as landlords do. And immediately, as she was going about doing that, somebody came inside and immediately declared that this is her place and she can't be there. And the police showed up and they actually arrested the landlord. Wow. And they sided with the squatter. And actually the arresting officer, this is what she claimed, what I obtained from the New York Post, he said this to her: just think of it from this perspective. Everybody isn't as fortunate as you to have a bed. All these little things, a bed in their house, food in the kitchen. I mean, imagine that. You're being evicted from your own house right before Christmas. You're sitting in the back of a cop car, and then the police officer is telling you, there are less fortunate out there.
Okay, look. So it's stories like this that really answer the question of why populism is on the rise. All right, I know exactly what you're thinking. That was a great clip you just watched. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to follow and also check out either these videos or maybe they're on this side. I don't know which side they're on, but we set it up. So these are the videos that YouTube is suggesting to you as the best ones that you'll probably like the most. So check them out, this side,